It'll be a miracle if I'm around to see it. No problem. And if I am, I probably won't remember it. But,
So imagine you are and you're describing it.
Oh, yeah. In 50 years' time, I don't like this democracy right from the start, the way it's evolving right now, but people interrupting and stuff like that. In 50 years' time, we've got locally led democracy, and many of these things have come to pass as being the natural way in which people think, right? One of the things is there's this idea of subsidiarity, that decisions are made as close to the people who are affected by them as possible. That's, of course, the way things are done. You don't have big centralised decision-making processes anymore. Things are evolved down to the lowest level possible in terms of localised decision-making. So we have an expectation already that decisions affecting our lives will be made by us. In addition to that, we have an agreed set of rules about how decisions will be made. And in particular, we'll work out how to deal with disagreement and how to be inclusive, when to make a decision even if we haven't got consensus. And there will be ways in which we can ensure that people who perhaps lose out from the decision aren't entirely ignored, and particularly systematically ignored. In addition to that, the reason people are actively engaged in the decision-making process, and the reason for that is that they have a sense of buy-in, that they know that that they're not just doing it because there's something in it for them, but because they feel part of what's happening. In addition to that, that they have that buy-in, partly because they have a huge sense of identity with the community that they're sharing decisions with. That they in particular identify closely with the Manurewa community and picking up on what others have said, particularly around shared space and shared facilities. We think that there would be a place where ideas can be exchanged. That would be a virtual place, particularly with obviously the use of technology, whatever replaces the internet, if that's possible to conceive of. The reality is there will be something, and that will be part of the virtual space which decision and discussions take place. But there will also be a physical place, and that physical place will both be a personal one in terms of discussions over the table and within families, but perhaps also in an extended way in terms of ways in which decisions can be made in public arenas, be it through community meals or through a forum like they used to have in Athens, or perhaps in local meetings such as this, or local cafes, etc. And lastly, people participate because they have a sense of duty to participate. They just don't do it because there's something in it for them. They do it because it's the right thing to do as a citizen of Manurewa. And they also, in participating, appreciate that their futures are locked up very closely with the futures of their neighbours, and so they always have to have regard for the extent to which their neighbours and their friends and other people across the other side of Manurewa are actually affected by decisions. So that's sort of the way we see it, having a locally led democracy that includes everyone.
Okay, done.